Hello boys and girls, and welcome to another episode of Easy TV. You can tell from the title what's happening today. I have got myself a Graham goodie, or good, not sure how you pronounce it, little scoop. Okay then, cast your mind back to the last summer we just had. Any turbo car was suffering with heat lag and everything to go with heat. Hence why I took it upon myself and I got the car booked into Dip Demons. I thought some Mark II RS vents should help release the heat. I also jumped on board with my friend Mark. Shout out RTB Remap in Southwest. Good guys. And we then also fitted the Velocitec Big Mouth Ram Air Scoop in the front. At the time, it helped. It did help. We had all the hot air being released through the bonnet. We had extra cold air flowing through the car into the air filter. But then I thought to myself, what if I could direct that cold air to the filter itself? So I went online, like we all do, and I looked up the Graham Good scoop and, well, the full system, and I looked at the price and I was like, it ranged between £300 to £400, considering I had literally just spent that money on a stage 3 AirTech crossover, down and filter and MAF housing. I think that came to 300 quid. I wasn't going to spend another £400 on just an air filter, a MAF housing, and a little bit of plastic that directs air. So I waited. I did the sensible thing for a change. If you know me, I'm the type of guy that will just go, money. I want it, I'll have it, why not? It's my car. You know, it's the logical thing you do. You work hard, you play hard. That's how I look at it. This is my downtime. But no, this time, I couldn't justify it, no way. But the other day online, I know it's going to sound daft, but on eBay, of all places, eBay, the scoop itself is now available for sale. I believe I paid 50 quid for it, and it literally just clamps onto here. Get it the right way up. It's a bit hard when you're trying to hold a camera at the same time. Do excuse me. It just goes onto there, and it should direct the air onto the cone. To be honest, guys, I wasn't even gonna do a video on this, but as you can see, it's not gonna be a straight clamp on. There's something in the way. Heat shield. Now, if you look at the Graham Goody actual kit, there is no heat shield in the picture. That's because they don't supply a heat shield with that kit, to my knowledge. Excuse me if I'm wrong, but to my knowledge, they don't supply a heat shield. It's literally that scoop, well, clipped straight onto there, straight over there. It's like a triangular, circular cone filter. It's a different shape to this one, I will admit. So I've got two choices from what I can see. I can either snip this here, lose the cable tie, try and bend it here flatter, bend it down here where you got the seam here, out a bit more, and then see if I can get it to clamp on. Or, number two, I can cut an oval, say around there. That would be the last resort, I think. Because if you have a look over, if you know anything about the engine bays, they do get rather warm. The turbo's down the back. That's not the issue when it comes to the heat in this bit. The heat issue with this bit, with the turbos involved, is the crossover pipe at the back. I know you can't really see it because I've got my strut brace in the way. That's what gets that pipe hot. What gets this part here hot down the bottom and the filter sucking in hot air is this here, right here, is the radiator hose. So that's why the heat shield's there, to stop it sucking in hot air from the radiator shield. From the radiator hose, sorry. So, as I say, the last thing I want to do is cut that, because literally, right there, is the radiator hose. So if I have to cut there, it will be last resort. So let's take it apart and have a ganders and see what we can do. Okay, so that's the heat shield removed. I kind of accidentally removed a rubber because it turns out that I had cross-threaded when I fitted my heat shield. So yeah, I've just tried to screw in the vise. It ain't coming out, so I'm gonna have to cut the bugger off. So yeah, anyway, that's that heat shield removed. You can see what I mean now by the radiator pipe. And hopefully now that this should, in theory, just clamp on over the top of that. So I am going to persuade that into place and get back to you. Okay, well, that literally took 3 seconds once I had 2 free hands after putting the camera down. Just pushed straight on. Oh, let me see my forged bustos. But yeah, it literally just pushed straight on, and you can see how it works. It knocks off the radiator pipe. And then this area here will just blast the cold air straight at my comb filter. And yeah, it should work quite nicely I'm hoping. So I'm gonna just quickly put my comb filter in place. And I'm gonna see how it would sit. I'm ignoring the heat shield for now. Okay, so that's the cone filter back on. And to be perfectly fair with you boys and girls, that should work quite nicely. Air goes in through my big mouth, comes up here, comes in here. This is why I bought this now, you can understand. Redirects it straight at the air filter. I know it's not the one built for the job, but I tell you what, that ain't bad. That's actually quite a good fitment. Goes straight at the filter. Now it's just time to fabricate and sort out the heat shield and get that back on. So yeah, as you can see, I've got my heat shield in the vise. I've tried love of God and put brute force and ignorance behind it. If you're one of my friends, you know I'm not one to do things by halves. So yeah, I don't know how it cross-threaded, but believe me, it's on there well and good. But I need to save this rubber here. Because that rubber there is what holds it all in place on the actual shield, on the actual car. Just helps stop vibration. So I need to very carefully now cut that off, and then I can worry about... I'm going to try bending first, I think, to see how that goes. And sit it in place and go from there. Remember, boys and girls, when using sharp objects, always wear safety goggles. You only ever get one set of eyes, so you might as well look after them. Helps if you turn it on at the wall as well. That's always a bonus. And that's off. Yeah, that was well and truly rounded on. Okay, remember to reinstall your rubber after removing it. Oh, bugger me, that must be a couple 100 degrees. Alright, I'll take that back about my bulletproof hands. They ain't that bulletproof. Okay. Alright, I'll reinstall that one in a minute. Okay, now then, I've got to somehow work out some way of bending this. Alright, let's just try brute strength first of all. Okay then, again, so with a little bit of persuasion, as you saw from me and my grandfather, he is built like a brick house, I tell you. We've bent the heat shield. It lines up down there. This fits in. It is snug, very snug. But with the rubbers put back on down there, it should help with the movement. Can't see it being any issue to this. It's not touching the radiator pipe. There's a couple of mil gap, which is all you need. But here, where it was cable tied in before, has to go. I'm going to have to do a cut along here and drill bang next to that AirTech sign. I do believe, looking at it from all these angles, you can just about see the red lip there. So when it's on, it's just above, next to the AirTech sign there. So I'm going to have to do a nice little cut along here and re-drill it, and then probably just a bit of touch-up painting around, and the job should be a good one on that. After removing the heat shield again, I did notice that there was a dirt mark on here from where the heat shield was touching contact with the actual pipe itself. I was wrong. So, in that case, well, you can see I wrapped a little bit of electrical tape around quite thick, not enough to restrict the pipe, as it is onto the plastic bit anyway, just to help stop rubbing, just in case. I'd rather try and prevent something than have to fix something later on. I am currently looking at replacing these hoses with some red forge ones though. For some daft reason, I can only find blue ones for sale. I want them red for obvious reasons, to match in with these bad boys. So yeah, I am on the lookout, but that's just a temporary preventative measure, because you don't want a leaky radiator, do you? Let's face it. So yeah, as you can imagine, with this bit being on show, I want quite a neat job doing. So I want to cut it around here now, and then re-drill the hole, say about there, and in line with that one, where it was. I'll re-drill it in there. Then, yeah, that should be it all done. So I'm going to use a hacksaw blade now. Bearing in mind that they've got to be sharp. I don't know whether these are sharp, because as you can imagine, yeah, these are my grandfather's tools. And that one feels like it's seen better days. So does the other spare one he's got on the shelf here, but hey ho. If that don't work, I'm just going to get the angle grinder out and fully send it. But yeah, I'm going to start off by trying to do it neatly, and yeah, we'll go from there. Took a little bit more off than I anticipated, but regardless, I'm still going to drill my hole there next to the sign. It's only cable tied in place anyway, because the screw never fitted from factory. So what I'm going to do now is these sharp edges here, I'm just going to lose them on the little, just going to lose them on this little sanding tool here. Should do quite nicely. Please excuse me, I don't know all the terminology for this. All I know is that sands and leaves it a normally very neat job. Yet again guys, like using any equipment that's electronic and going to be throwing sparks off at you, wear your safety goggles. Yes, you look uncool, I'm not going to pretend that, but I like to look where I'm going. So yeah, it's a bit of a no-brainer really. And just like that, the sharp edges are gone. So, it's pretty much ready now to go back on the car. Okay then, so that's your heat shield bent to shape, that's your edging recut, I think it looks quite smart personally. It kind of ties in with all the angles we've got going on around now. Just a sander, just cooling, slowing down if you're wondering what the noise is. So yeah, as I was saying, it's bent, it's smoothed, and I've just re-drilled the hole where I'm going to put the cable tie through to hold it in place. And now we just got to fit it up and install everything back to OEM spec-ish onto the car, and yeah, that is one modified heat shield to take the GG Graham Goody big mouth extension, jobby, cold air, director. So yeah, job's a good one. Okay, it makes sense that while you got your heat shield off, that you give it a quick detailing spray and wipe over. If it's dirty, your cone filter is going to get dirty because it's going to blow all the dust into the filter, and you're going to have to clean it more regularly. So it just makes sense just to keep your engine bay cleaner. Plus it saves your hands getting dirty when you do go to work on it. It's a bit of a no-brainer really. I know it's a bit filthy at the moment. I'm not going to put my hands up and say it's the cleanest it's ever been, but it's my daily. So yeah, as I say, I just gave it a quick clean, and now I'm going to give it a reinstall. Okay then, boys and girls, I've come into a snag. I've trial fitted it just using cable ties, right? So yeah, as I say, I just cable tied it in here just to hold it in place. And the bloody thing still won't fit on. So I'm gonna have to mock it up, take it back to the grinder, and lose a little bit out of here. It's not what I wanted to do, but I'm afraid it seems to be the only way that it can be done. So I'm going to do that then. So luckily, hopefully, I shouldn't have to lose too much, but we'll see. Okay, so I've mocked up the area where I think I need to lose. I'm going to start by that little bit there. You can see I've gone over with a Sharpie just to make it visible. So I'm going to start with that and then trial fit it and see where that leads me. Okay, so as we know, modifying vehicles is all about trial and error. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Well, the first mock-up was a good idea. It was along the right lines. It certainly helped. Second idea, I cut down to size, and it just wasn't enough. You saw how much I cut out of it. Right now then, third time lucky, fingers crossed. I've trial fitted it again, and I've tried fitting the scoop in again, but to no prevail. So this time I'm gonna have to cut this much out of it. Don't know how well you can see it on camera, but that much extra. I marked with a Sharpie and done scribbles inside of it. That's how much more I've got to come out. It does expose some of my radiator hose. It's about 3 centimeters. As I say, I've taped it. That's not going to do anything. I'm probably just going to remove that, to be perfectly fair with you. And once I get the forge hoses, they should be more thermal resistant than standard ones. So it would keep it cooler in theory. So they'll be cooler than standard hoses anyway. It still won't be perfect, but as you can see from the GG air scoop, there is a slight heat shield built into it. I was just kind of hoping to double up on it. The heat shielding is just there. So when it directs it, it keeps it colder through that little bit of heat shield. So that's going to have to really work now. I know the kit that they sell full with the unit, it relies on that 100%, and there is no heat shield. So, well, with this heat shield that I'm going to say wrecking, but modifying to fit, it should be better than the kit, I like to think, that they supply. I'm not going to say I'm a fabricator, I'm a chef. So, yeah, good things didn't come to those who, well, didn't pursue them, eh? So I'm going to try again, and hopefully, boys and girls, third time's a charm. Okay then, boys and girls, I've taken as much as I think is necessary off. I've trial fitted it again, but there is a few little sharp edges, so I've just got myself a 800 grit piece of sandpaper that by happen a chance I found in the floor in here. Pure luck, because I didn't bring any with me. I know, damn. Mind you, I wasn't anticipating cutting as much off this shield as I first thought. But yeah, just as a reminder, this isn't for the brave, the faint-hearted. This is just for the brave who really want to try it and to have tools at their disposal. I know the ITG air filter goes underneath the headlight. That's got no heat shielding whatsoever. But then again, it is right out the way of all the hot pipes and everything. I'm liking to think that this is a bit more of an upgrade. But that's just my own personal opinion. I believe that every filter should have a heat shield of some description. Otherwise, you're not protecting from any heat. So yeah, just so you guys can see, that is how much I had to cut out in the end. Ignore the silver mark there, that's just from a bit of rubbing in the past. But I've just sanded this down now to lose the sharp edges, because I don't really want that eating through any pipes if it does come into contact with any. And yeah, I'm gonna give it another quick detail. And then I'm gonna reinstall it all on the car and show you how it all looks. Bearing in mind, there is exposed metal. When I get a second, I am gonna take it off and just touch it up, because no one likes to see exposed metal. Makes it look rough and horrible. But yeah. Just a quick interruption to today's video. Today's video would not have been possible without my sponsorship from RTB Remapping Southwest. Thanks, Mark. And if any of you guys are after anything from Miltech to AirTech, you name it, big brake kits, the lot, he stocks them at a discounted rate. Just drop him a DM on Facebook where you find him, RTB Remapping Southwest. Not only does his name suggest that he does maps, but he does stock aftermarket parts. So get hold of him and see if he can quote you happy. I guarantee he will quote you happy. So drop him a DM. Thanks for the parts for today, Mark, and I'm sure I'll be getting hold of more of you very soon. Ladies and gentlemen, you can now see that it is in its place. There is a heat shield, it is protected, but as I stated earlier, there is a slight gap there to make it fit, but it is minuscule. Don't be afraid to chop it up, because these are dead cheap anyway. I do believe they're only between 15 to 25 quid if you do need to buy another one. But yeah, as I say, I've drilled the hole, I sorted it out there. That's just cable type, that's all you need. It looks smart in my opinion. It's out the way and it's hidden in, because you've got all these cable ties anyway holding all these little wires in place. It just ties in with it, so don't worry about it. Alright, so there you have it. You can run a goode air scoop with an AirTech, Sicko Developments, many CE UK, many other air filters. They're normally roughly the same shape, and as you can see from there, just trying to shine, there's the gap, there's the little shield, and it goes now directly onto the filter. There is naffle gap. That duct there really is going to do nothing but spew cold air at this filter now, instead of it going God knows where. Because that hole there that was there originally, we're just chucking it into the bay and it wasn't directed anywhere. Now it's got direction, and I am really, really happy that it's in place. So just so you guys are very aware now, it is possible, you can do it. An untrained person today done it for you. I didn't have the foggiest and I went in and done it anyway. That is how you go about modding cars these days. Admittedly, it's a little bit rough, but a little bit more sandpapering, a little bit of touch-up paint, and jobs are good in there, boys and girls. Thanks for watching today's video, guys. I hope I have been some kind of help towards you lot. I can imagine that this summer hopefully will just be as hot as the last one, and that I do believe, I'm a firm believer, that this upgrade will help keep those temps down. By all means, you can wrap your crossover pipe in gold tape to help reflect heat and all of that jazz. It's something I will potentially be looking into myself in the future, but I also believe that what I have done here today will dramatically help keep the temperatures down. So as I say, thank you very much for watching today, guys. Please leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already. I have many plans for this car. In the comments below, please comment what you would like to see happen to this car next. I personally have many plans tied in with Unit 5 Motorsport, where soon enough I will be dropping it over to them for a good week to play with. But yes, as I say, please in the comments below, comment something, a practical mod that you believe my car is missing. Yes, I know I need a stage 3 intercooler, a bigger turbo, yada yada. Believe me, I have plans and it is all coming together nicely. I'm in no rush, as you can see from this build. It has taken 2 years to get where it is today. I want it all done properly. There is no such thing as rushing with this one. So yeah, thank you for watching today, guys. I'll catch you all soon.